Hello. Today we are going to install Ubuntu on the virtual box in a Windows operating system. So first, I'm going to double click on the virtual box. It will open the virtual box. And then I'm going to click on New. And here I have to name it. Now, make sure you download the Ubuntu first. So what you have to do is you go to the Ubuntu desktop, click on download. So this is the latest edition, Ubuntu desktop 20.04.3. Download it, click on download. It will download it for you. Once you download it, it will come to your download folder. So I'm going to my download folder now, and I have it here, Ubuntu. So once I have it, I can now go to the virtual box and click on the new, as I showed you before, and name it Ubuntu. I'm going to name it just like the one that I have. It's going to be 20.04.3. You don't have to do anything else. Press on next. Now you have to select the size of the memory. I suggest you take at least 2 megabytes of memory, RAM, then press on next. And then you create virtual hard disk. Now, they are suggesting to use at least 10 gigs, but I'm going to increase it. But let's click on create first, and it will automatically select VirtualBox disk image. Then click on next. And here it is showing you whether you need a dynamically allocated disk or fixed disk size. Dynamically allocated disk size means it will not use the 10 gigs or 20 gigs, whatever you want. It will take only whatever the memory, the storage you need. Fixed means it will take fixed amount of storage from your storage in the computer, from your hard drive. So dynamically means if I need only 3 gigs now, it will only take 3 gigs of storage from your total storage in the hard drive. So then next, so here automatically it is selecting 10 gigs. I'm going to increase it more because I think it's better to have more. So I'm taking about 22 gigs, or let's say 20 gigs. Okay, around this. I'd make it 20. It's better to do it in this way. Okay, and then click on create. So now it has 20 gigs of dynamically allocated storage so that you can install Ubuntu. Now, before we install Ubuntu, I suggest you go to the settings and look at the settings. So basic, it's fine. Go to advanced. Here it is showing you the location of your Ubuntu. Now, these 2 things I suggest you take bi-directional because you can then copy files from your host machine. In this case, it is Windows. And everything else you keep as is. You don't need to do anything else. Memory size, I have already 2 gigs of memory. Floppy drive, if you want, you can Just unclick it. We don't use floppy drives anymore. For processors, you go, I'm going to take 2 gigs, 2 CPUs, and for acceleration, I'm just keeping it as is. Display, I suggest you take 120 gigs, 20 megabytes actually. And then you don't do anything, keep it as is. Storage, this is the storage. Here I have nothing in this case right now, but you have to select where to put it. So let's do that. So what we are going to do is click on here and then click here, choose the disk file, and our disk drive is over here. Open it, and then you are done. You don't have to do anything else. Now here, shared folder, I'll keep it same for now. I'm not going to do anything right now, but this shared folder helps. I'll show you later. And this is user interface. You don't need to do anything. Okay, so then press on OK. So now we are ready to install Ubuntu. So click on Start. It is going to take a few minutes. It is starting, as you can see, VirtualBox. It is starting to install. So first it is checking the disk space and all the tools that are necessary to install Ubuntu. If they are in order or not, it is checking. Okay, we are almost done. So it didn't find any error. Now it is going to start installing Ubuntu. All right, so after a few minutes, I have this window coming. So it is, one is try Ubuntu, another one is install Ubuntu. We will click on install Ubuntu. So automatically it selects English for the keyboard. So English US, we don't have to do anything. Just click on continue. Now here it is asking for normal installation. Yes, we need normal installation. Download updates while installing. I'm just not gonna do it now. I will do it like this. This is the third-party software. We will have to install it. Okay, and then we will continue. Updates we can install anytime after we download our initial Ubuntu. Okay, so now we came to a new page. You don't need to do anything, just keep erase disk and install Ubuntu and click on install now. This comes, you just click on continue. Then it asks you for your location. I'm in Chicago, so it automatically finds Chicago. If it doesn't, you can just move it around. New York, Chicago again. So I'm in Chicago. I'm clicking on this area in the map, then continue. Here you have to name it. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna name it Robert. Automatically it names the computer's name as Robert VirtualBox. and username is Robert. You can also give a password. I'm keeping it simple, but make sure you give a password that you can remember. So when you want to log into Linux, Ubuntu, you will need to give the password and then click on continue. This process will take some time. All right, so after a few minutes, actually for me it took like about 20 minutes, installation is complete for Ubuntu. Now what we need to do is we need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. So restart it now. So this is restarting Ubuntu. You may have to press on enter. And now it is starting. Okay, so here you go. I can see my name, Robert. You click on that, it is going to ask you for password, which I am doing it now. And then you click on enter, press on enter. Okay, so now that we are here, it's going to ask us a few things. So I'm going to cancel those. I don't need to do anything. Connect your online account. I don't need to do that. Skip it. Here also you skip that. And here you don't need to do it. I normally don't do it. So I don't want to share any information if you want to. So I'm clicking on next. And location privacy, I'm not going to do anything right now. So again, click on next. So now I'm ready to go. I can also install some softwares, which I'm not going to do now. I'm just gonna click on done. Here you go. We are done. So our Ubuntu is now installed. Now, as you can see, this window is very small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install guest edition. So I'm going to click on show applications. And here I'm going to type terminal. So just type tar, it's going to show you terminal. Click on this. I am now on a terminal. Now I want to update using Linux commands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write sudo apt, there is a space, then apt get update, then click on enter. It is going to ask you for password. Again, use the same password that you used to log into Ubuntu. Okay. Okay, it is done. And then I'm going to do sudo apt but now I'm going to change it to upgrade. Upgrade. It is asking, do you want to continue? It wants to use some of the disk space. I'm going to say Y and then enter. Yes. This process may take a few minutes. Okay, so once we upgrade Ubuntu, we have to write one more command line, which is sudo apt space apt space install space build essential space dkms space linux space linux headers space $, in parentheses uname space -r parenthesis finish, and then click on enter. Yes, I'm going to continue that. So after a few minutes, our last command finished. Now we have to close that. So we are closing it. And we can now install CD image. So what we have to do now, go to device, and then click on insert guest edition CD image. Okay. And now I have to click on run. It will ask me for password. We will use the same password for the Ubuntu. And then authenticate. It is now installing our guest edition. Okay, so now at the end, it says press return to close this window. I'm going to press enter. So it is done. Now we have to power off our computer, Linux. I'm completely powering it off. And then again, I am restarting. Start. As you can see, it is loading Ubuntu. This time it will take us directly to the Ubuntu's main desktop screen. It's asking me for password. So it is the same password that we used for Linux, Ubuntu. Here you go. You're done. As you can see now, I can now make it full screen. Okay, so it was small. Now I can make it full screen. Previously, it was not possible. And you can ignore this. And if you were doing if you need terminal, you can just look for it. And it will give us the terminal. Okay, so we are done in installing Ubuntu. Now there are few things, sometimes there might be some issues in installing Ubuntu, which I'm going to show you now. So sometimes you might encounter some issues, and it might prevent installing Ubuntu in the VirtualBox in Windows operating system. One such issue is giving an error message involving VTMD. I'm going to show you how to fix it. So while pressing Windows, press on X, it will give you command prompt. So click on command prompt here. Again, I'm showing it. Command prompt, yes. And now here you have to write this command. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you this command now, this command that I have here. So write bcd edit space /set hypervisor launch launch type space off. Click on or press enter. And then you restart. So I'm not going to do it now. Then you restart your computer and come back to Ubuntu in VirtualBox, and then click on start. This might fix the problem. There is another, if this one doesn't fix, you have to change through BIOS system, which I'm going to show you now. Sometimes when you install Ubuntu on VirtualBox on Windows operating system, you may have to go to the Windows BIOS using Windows F10 command. That means you press on Windows plus F10 while you are restarting the computer. You have to go to system configuration and make sure you enable it. So to enable it, press on enter. This will come. So, and then you click on arrow up and then enter again. Okay, and then you save it. So it will go to this side. So what you do is enter again, and then you highlight yes, automatically it shows yes, and then click on enter again.